WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
I can't believe I'm putting my voice to this.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Thank you for your irrelevant opinion.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry.
The first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say. I'm a broadcast journalist. I have a right to my opinion.
Oh, son of a...
I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even in commentary.
There's the sound of the bell, and that means we are off. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Nick Cataldi.
Hey.
Pushing the buttons, turning the dials, keeping us on the air. Lucas, the intern, might be joining us in the hour. He is actually en route back from the beach after spending a week with the sun, the waves, and hopefully babes.
In Croydon,
as we had joked about last week.
right.
And, hopefully he'll make his way in a little bit to discuss, among other things, Money in the Bank, which is tomorrow night. WWE's Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We'll have our predictions certain to go wrong coming up this hour, and a whole litany of other news and notes and reaction and all kinds of stuff. First, a follow-up from last week. The fan votes are in. How many sides will TNA's ring be? Well, TNA announced that the fans have voted for the company to bring back the six-sided ring.
Cool.
It has returned after a 4.5-year hiatus for the New York City tapings that occurred this week, and you'll see that starting to air in mid-July. That's when the switch will occur on television. TNA going back to the six-sided ring. Since, I believe it was January of 2010 when Hulk Hogan came in and said, no, enough with this six-sided nonsense. We're going to a traditional squared circle, as we had debated about last week with that terminology. And another, it's amazing. I'm leading off with TNA news, but this is another pretty notable one. Bound for Glory going international. That's right. TNA announcing on Wednesday in New York that their biggest show of the year, Bound for Glory, which is usually held in October, it's kind of like their WrestleMania, will be held October 12th in Tokyo, Japan. Japanese wrestling star The Great Muta was on hand for the announcement as well. Now, here's where I'm a little bit lost. Is this going to be live, or is it going to be Memorex? I knew that joke was coming. I knew it was coming. Oh, Nick. Is it going to be live, or will it be on tape delay? Which essentially, yes, you could say is Memorex, provided they have those tapes. Now, WWE did do a tape delay pay-per-view once. Of course, you remember SummerSlam 1992 from London, England, Wembley Stadium, back in August of 92. But that was 22 years ago, when the internet was in its infancy, so you didn't have spoilers and the like. Now, Tokyo is a little bit different. It's 13 hours ahead of us here on the East Coast, so 8 p.m. Eastern Sunday night would actually be 9 a.m. Monday local time in Tokyo. So I don't know. Are they going to do a Monday morning pay-per-view in Tokyo? I don't think that's going to work out so well. Or if they wanted to go the other way, if they did it 8 p.m. Sunday night local time in Tokyo, it would air here on the East Coast at 7 o'clock Sunday morning. I don't know. You getting up for brunch in TNA wrestling? I know I'm not. So I don't know how they're going to work it, how they're going to avoid or minimize pay-per-view spoilers. It's probably why we haven't seen too many international. I mean, I have to give TNA credit. They're doing something bold. It's different. It's showing some major kuyans. But I don't know. This I guess it's early to tell. I'm still kind of in the reactionary, not really sure how to take it phase. But it's not until October 12th, so we've got 4 months almost, 3.5, 4 months to kind of let it simmer, let it sink in, and let them figure out exactly how they're going to work this. I don't know. Kind of interesting, I guess.
Yes.
But I guess more, speaking of pay-per-views, to more upcoming matters, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, a lot of matches announced over the course of this past week, as there were only 3 that were announced heading into last Saturday's show, and one of those didn't even have all the competitors noted. So this past Monday on Raw, it was announced the remainder of the competitors for the Money in the Bank contract, that briefcase that hangs overhead with the Money in the Bank logo. You've got Seth Rollins in the match. He was automatically added. We knew that as of last week. But here are his opponents. Bad News Barrett, your Intercontinental Champion. Dean Ambrose of the Shield, what's left of them. Dolph Ziggler, finally getting into the mix. He'll be bumping like a boss. Jack Swagger, Mr. We the People himself. Kofi Kingston, another high-flying individual that'll make this match rather interesting, and Rob Van Dam. So that's a pretty stacked lineup. Early lines would say that'll be the match of the night just based on the competitors involved. Who do I think's going to win? I'll let you know a little bit later this hour.
I like DiNucci.
No, DiNucci's not in it.
Oh.
Nor will he be a surprise entrant. Although there was a surprise entrant added to the ladder match for the vacant WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And we knew the 7 going in were Alberto Del Rio, Bray Wyatt, Cesaro, John Cena, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and Sheamus, your U.S. champion. But added to the mix this past Monday, Kane. So it's now 8 men vying for the vacant WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Very interesting. And then the other match that was announced beforehand, Jimmy and Jay Uso, the Uso brothers, defending the tag team titles against Luke Harper and Eric Rowan of the Wyatt family. The other matches added this week, Paige will defend the Divas Championship against Naomi of the, now I guess, former Funkadactyls since Brodus Clay got cut.
Paige and Naomi, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Real aggressive names, I like that.
They're up your alley?
I like it. Paige and Naomi. Yeah.
Yeah? You're okay with that?
Yeah. I'm glad they thought to ask me. Okay, good.
You haven't seen what they look like. Or have you? I don't know.
I guess I haven't.
Paige is... the fact that she's champion at such a young age is rather notable. She's only 21.
Right.
And she's the Divas champion. And Naomi...
Well, she's a diva.
Well, diva is the women's.
Right.
That because you can't have women's wrestlers anymore, you have to, they have divas, just as you can't have male wrestlers, you have superstars or sports entertainers. It's a whole other thing I can give out about later, but I'm not going to.
Disappoints me greatly.
I know. In a tag match, you've got Ryback and Curtis Axel, also known as Rybaxel, against the newly formed team of Goldust and Stardust.
Goldust and Stardust.
Yeah, I've been calling them a Gold Star.
How about Moondust? Bless you.
Thank you.
Did you cough or sneeze?
It was a cough.
Well, you still got to bless you.
Yeah, I still got to bless you.
She ain't bad looking. I'm looking at her picture right now.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she's, I don't want my kid bringing her home, but
But you wouldn't mind bringing her home? You know what? Don't answer that.
You're going to get me in trouble here? Or...
That's why I said don't answer that.
Why don't my kid bring her home? What I want with her? Don't answer that.
I know better. Speaking of divas, you've also got not one but 2 divas matches in the same pay-per-view. Summer Rae against Layla.
Her I know about.
And Fandango will be the special guest referee, as both have been the dancing partners of Fandango over the course of the last few months. And Summer Rae, of course, took time off to film The Marine 4 along with The Miz. And now that she's back, the women's they be a feudin'. So that's what sets up that match. And then Big E against Rusev, I believe a rematch from last pay-per-view. Rusev crushed Big E then, and will he do it again? We'll find out later with the predictions certain to go wrong. Another couple of notes from the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Some bad news for Barrett. Intercontinental Champion Wade Bad News Barrett suffering a shoulder injury during Tuesday's SmackDown taping. He injured his right shoulder when he was thrown into the barricade by Jack Swagger. And WWE doctors, they examined Barrett and found that he has a separated shoulder. No official determination has been made about Barrett's participation in tomorrow night's Money in the Bank contract ladder match. So he hasn't been announced as out. He, at this moment, is in, but if he's too injured to go, do they cut it down to 6 entrants? Do they find a replacement last minute? A little bit of intrigue, thanks to some injuries. And speaking of injury, the now former WWE World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan will be on the pre-show to address the crowd for the first time since being stripped of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So I guess that's the hook for the pre-show. Yeah, I don't know. We've got a lot of other news and notes to get to over the course of the hour, including WWE reportedly releasing a longtime broadcast team member. We'll get into that story. A new charity started by Triple H and Stephanie McMahon in the name of a young WWE fan. Total Divas coming to the WWE Network. And we'll talk Vickie Guerrero as well, as she is no longer with WWE, and she talked about her departure at pretty fair length, and we'll go over some of that length here in the hour. Plus, we've got birthdays today in wrestling history, a WWE stock update, ton of stuff to do. A new director of operations in TNA. We'll talk about that as well. And, of course, I got to let you know about George's Cards and Collectibles. Man, they have a bunch of stuff going on, including former WWE manager, referee, and general manager Teddy Long. He'll be at George's in the Oxford Valley Mall 2 weeks from today, Saturday, July 12th from noon to 3 p.m. Also, the following week, Saturday, July 19th from 11 to 1, the Funkasaurus, we just talked about him, Brodus Clay, will be at George's in the Neshaminy Mall over in Bensalem. And just announced, yo, pop a 40 and check your rollies, as JTG and Shad Gaspard of Crime Time will appear at George's in the Neshaminy Mall on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Check out George's 3 locations for all of your sports and wrestling memorabilia needs. Their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Levittown, in the Oxford Valley Mall in the Sears Court on the lower level, and their newest location in the Neshaminy Mall in the movie theater wing. For more information on the upcoming Teddy Long, Brodus Clay, and Crime Time appearances, give George's a call at 215-943-2475 or visit them on the web at georgescollectibles.com. Did you get all that? I know that was a lot.
Yes. I got a Mr. Fuji doll. Does that count?
Mr. Fuji, he's a WWE Hall of Famer.
Right,
so that's...
right. Actually, I got George Animal Steel, and I got Hulk Hogan somewhere. I know I got Mr. Fuji in my living room. I mean, who wouldn't have a Mr. Fuji doll in their living room?
Now, this is, of course, from his wrestling days, or is this him as
Actually,
a manager in the tuxedo with the bowler hat, the odd job look from
the big smile.
From James Bond, the devious one. Oh yeah, so my powers of pain. Oh yeah, all those interesting promos.
But Hogan and George, I've got as wrestlers, of course, because they weren't managers.
Yeah, I don't know. The one memory that I have of Mr. Fuji as a wrestler was, I want to say WrestleMania 5. Back in '89. He teamed up with the Powers of Pain to take on Demolition in a 3-on-2 handicap match for the WWF Tag Team Championship.
Who won?
Demolition won. So despite it being a 3-on-2 advantage, needless to say, it didn't quite help out with Mr. Fuji.
Oh, look who's here.
Yes, and freshly in, and wow, what a tan.
From Croydon.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, Croydon.
Freshly in from Croydon.
That's cute, Nick.
Lucas the intern.
How you guys doing tonight?
Good to have you back, bro.
Yeah,
Today, tonight.
It's good to be back, bro. I just sat in a car for about 2 hours.
And now you get to sit in front of a microphone.
No, not in
Well, traffic is hectic out
Can
there.
you explain that joke to me? The Croydon joke? Anyone?
It's a Nick thing. I just roll with it.
Is it? Oh, so it's like Dominic DeNucci. Oh, yay.
Oh. If you were listening in the car, you heard he already got it out.
Yeah.
Who peed in your cornflakes?
I don't eat cornflakes. I eat Reese's Puffs.
Who peed in them? You know.
I don't. I forget.
So that's where the pea and the peanut butter comes from? Oh, goodness. All right, let's get settled in here. Yeah, we'll I'm sure Lucas the intern has a bunch of things to note about not only wrestling, but I'm sure his time, as I put earlier, in the sun, waves, and hopefully babes.
No babes.
No babes.
Well, actually, wait. I was playing on the board. I was playing.
Okay.
I was playing guitar.
This is a PG show.
No, I was playing guitar on the boardwalk, and this girl. I was getting a lot. I got made $30 on the boardwalk Thursday night, playing guitar. Yeah, I'm that good.
Thank you for clarifying with playing guitar.
This extremely attractive girl comes up to me. She goes, "Can I have a hug?" And I was so smooth. I'm just like, yeah.
That sounds fairly accurate.
Oh yeah, just
We taught him well.
oh yeah. Just my goofy, gullible.
How can we just say, "Oh shucks"?
Oh,
shucks. Oh. You got to snort too, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we should take care of the business.
Yeah. Let's take a time out. It's certainly needed. I'm gonna go get some Tylenol in the meanwhile. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB 14. Cutting me off early.
That was an accident. Sorry.
Man, as if my headache wasn't any bigger. Let me try it again. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Little Guido from the FBI was there.
I'm offended.
That was his wrestler name.
I'm just kidding.
Had him here on the show.
I have a cat named Guido. I'm just kidding around.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your host, Fearon Derry.
Who was that voice?
It sounded.
That guy's terrible. He's doing radio.
Yeah, he is really. Not you, the other one that was saying he's got a cat named Guido. Oh. You know.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about too. Yeah, that guy.
He stinks.
Yeah, he
Offending stereotypes one by one. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here alongside Lucas the intern and Nick Cataldi.
Hey.
Pushing buttons, turning dials, keeping us on the air.
Hopefully.
No, we're on the air. We're good. We're grand.
You're not.
Yeah, I was gonna say he can control your microphone. I wouldn't razz him
I
too
control
much.
the horizontal. We control the vertical. There's nothing wrong with your radio.
Oh, is that how that works?
Well, didn't you ever hear the outer limits?
Can't say that I have. Although this show has gone to the outer limits on a few occasions.
Well, you never heard of the show, The Outer Limits?
I've heard of it, but I've never.
You never watched it? What a shame.
No.
It's a good show. We control the horizontal. We control the. Then, of course, in the '80s, they had to get rid of that version because there was no more horizontal
and vertical
to control. You know.
It's kind of an antiquated term
right,
by that
exactly.
point. I at least know that much. I know.
Okay.
I know some bits of television.
It was a good show.
history.
Very good show.
How about we go on to some news and notes, guys, huh?
Sure. We were talking a little bit before.
Let's see.
I was gonna say, are you gonna pick a story that I just read before you came in?
No. I know the stories you read. I was listening on the way.
Okay.
So
You're attentive.
Matador injured at the house show. So Fernando of Los
Arriba? Oh no,
Arriba.
not that Matador.
Fernando of the Los Matadores suffered an ankle and knee injuries during this past Sunday's live event in Newark, Delaware, and was taken to the ER for precautionary reasons. Fernando suffered a left ankle sprain as well as a knee ligament sprain. He's expected to return, according to WWE.com, in 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, the injury bug seeming to go around. I mean, we mentioned Fernando of Los Matadores, and of course, some. I know this joke has been played out over the internet over the course of the week, but when the news was delivered to Wade Barrett about his shoulder being separated, did the doctor say, I'm afraid I've got some bad news?
I wish, and somebody posted that, so you stole somebody's
I said it's been around.
Yeah.
It's not just one person who I'm sure came up with that. I've seen that in numerous places. So
you know the funny thing is, Barrett getting injured before Money in the Bank. This isn't the first time. If you believe it or not, he was supposed to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. That was like the year of WrestleMania 28. So like it was either he was gonna like who
2 years ago.
Yeah. So Daniel Bryan won that year, and who else won that year in 2012? I think it was
Wasn't that the year Cena won?
No. Well, yeah. No, I'm talking about the one before WrestleMania 28.
So that would have been 2011.
2011's Money in the Bank when Bryan won, and I think Del Rio won.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I think like Barrett was supposed to win that, supposed to go in the Money in the Bank ladder match that year and win, and he got an elbow injury.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So then
now, of course, the elbow is his finisher. Go figure.
So now the shoulder injury. I wonder if he's just gonna have like a
flying
spear
shoulder tackle
like
or
a spear now, just like. I wonder if they're gonna repackage his gimmick. I like Bad News Barrett, but I wish he would go back to like Wade Barrett. Like he could still do that, but I'd like to see him win a world title run, and I don't. A lot of people don't think that I don't think he could do it when he under the Bad News gimmick. I mean, he definitely could carry it, but like, I don't think fans want to see that. And it's more of a.
And we were kind of right. 2011, Del Rio and Daniel Bryan won.
So I was right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take those small victories, kid.
Yeah.
Take those small victories, kid.
All right, so Triple H and Stephanie McMahon started a charity in the name of Conor the Crusher.
Yes.
Stephanie McMahon and Triple H announced the formation of Conor Secure, a charity dedicated to...
yeah, good luck reading that one.
Medulloblastima.
Close enough. Medulloblastima.
Medulloblastima, the rare cancer that took the life of Conor
I think it's Michalik.
Michalik. I didn't want to mispronounce it. I'd get letters. And an 8-year-old WWE fan and a fan of Daniel Bryan. I think it was the funny. There's this thing on. I talk about this thing. Funny. There was a funny little GIF. It was like a looped video of Conor knocking out Triple H, and he like gets out on the pin, and I think one of the refs like counts the 1, 2, 3. It was one of the cool things. Like.
Yeah, Triple H hasn't jobbed that quickly since WrestleMania 12 against the Ultimate Warrior.
And Warrior just no-sold that pedigree, just like...
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Oh, gosh. The Facebook feedback already coming in. Robert chiming in. One, referring to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view lineup tomorrow. He said, one Divas match at Money in the Bank has the potential for something good. The other has cluster F written all over it. And John, well, okay, he cleaned it up by saying cluster fudge. And John saying, let's be honest here, we would all rather have fudge than see any Divas match. Of course they're talking, and I haven't eaten since like 7 o'clock this morning, so yes, I could really go for some fudge right about now.
I'm sure you could.
Well, yeah, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten it all today.
Yeah.
Since this morning.
We're going to get letters.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. So, let's go. Let's move on.
Yeah, way to segue out of this one.
Awkward. So Total.
I don't know what you're.
Speaking of fudge, I don't know. Total Divas reruns coming to the WWE Network. See, I don't even know how that segue worked. Season 1 of Total Divas is now on the WWE Network as of this past Thursday. The series will be shown in order with the on-demand version becoming available after it is aired on Thursday nights. Total Divas is taking spots that Legends House held for several weeks. So does that mean, are they just waiting for a new thing for Legends House? Or?
Well, the season just ended, so it's kind of like, what's that show that you watch, the Game of Thrones or whatever? Yeah. Yeah, as soon as the season finale's over, they don't start another season right away. You have a little bit of a gap.
It's also with Walking Dead how, I think last year, Walking Dead, when its season finally ended, the next week Mad Men took its spot for the season.
Yeah.
So, and then also, and I think this, now for Game of Thrones, HBO's The Leftovers, which looks like a really good series, is which I'm probably going to have to check out when I get home. Because, I think I missed the series premiere. But anyway, back to wrestling.
Oh, that's good. Well, what's your This should be interesting. What's your take, since you were in the car when it was going on? Your take on TNA going back to a 6-sided ring? That says it all.
I mean, I like the 6-sided ring. It's just the fact that I realized something. TNA to WWE is as Family Guy is to The Simpsons. They do what WWE has already done. Just as Family Guy.
When did WWE have a 6-sided ring?
No, I'm saying just in general, not the 6-sided ring. That's probably the only thing TNA has that's original. But
well, that and its Hall of Famers.
You know that joke? Yeah. Well, the long running.
I'll give out about that in a minute.
The long standing joke that whatever Family Guy has done, The Simpsons have done first. Whatever WWE has done, I mean, whatever TNA has done, WWE has usually done it first.
Yeah, I guess I could give you that.
Yeah. It was a funny one, but, didn't go so well.
I was looking at it analytically. Yeah, John from Northeast Philly chiming in, 6 sides of boring. Impact Wrestling will return to the 6-sided ring. That was when the news was first announced on Tuesday.
That's funny.
Yeah, I got nothing. And since it's gotten a lot of press on the page, I should mention. I hate mentioning passings, but I mean, I guess they are part of life. Larry Shipley, better known to wrestling fans as Larry Nelson, the I believe longtime announcer for the AWA, the American Wrestling Alliance, up in the Minnesota area. He passed away after a long battle with pancreatic cancer.
Damn, that stinks.
Yeah, best known as his time as an announcer for Vern Gagne's AWA promotion.
Wurzel. Or no, that's Rene Goulet, my bad.
You're thinking Rene Goulet, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, John also putting up, there's a link with a dated interview with Paul Lee, I guess, or an interview of, I guess, Larry Nelson talking with Paul Lee. So that gives you an idea how long ago that was. But, yeah, that's, never a good thing. Actually, I've got some semblance of a passing anniversary, in a sense, as part of the birthdays, just because it's kind of a notable one. But yeah, we'll get into that in segment 3. So, since I'd planned on this for next week, because I thought you weren't going to be here next week, let's talk about Vickie Guerrero.
Well, we're still going to do what we were going to do next week, but yeah, we can mention her. Oh,
okay, you do want to save it for next week?
Yeah, I do want to save it for next week. I mean, because I can't just pull it up right away. It's going to take too long, unless you have it with you.
Well, I don't have the entire letter, if that's what you mean.
No. So,
but I do have the story.
Vickie Guerrero did write a, she was, you can take the story off.
Well, yeah, she talked about her departure from WWE. She the condensed version was in a tweet where she said, "The ride has come to a halt. I'm so grateful for the wonderful blessings in the last 9 years. Live, love, and laugh. Heading home to begin a new chapter in my amazing life. Thank you, Jesus. #empowered." And she also wrote, as I said, a lengthy letter to the WWE Universe and behind-the-scenes crew. And
I'll say that for next week. I will admit, I'm actually a huge fan of Vickie Guerrero, and I feel like, I mean, it was a gimmick. I feel like she did have fun, but they sort of, I mean, her best ride is, like, her best part in her career was when she did La Familia with Edge. I feel like that was probably, that was a good bit for a long time. I like that. Or when she was with Eddie, but after Eddie, passed, I think her best, my favorite part was when she was with La Familia. That was a good, when they
was, but I think she was still, and I think she said this in the letter, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but she was still trying to figure herself out on camera. She still wasn't comfortable. I mean, she was just used to being a wrestler's wife. And it took a little bit for her to figure things out. And when she did, I mean, all she had to do was come out and say, "Excuse me," and the crowds would just rain down on her.
You know what the
with
funny
boos.
thing was? When she said "excuse me" on Monday, the whole crowd just went, "Yeah!" Because, like, I would have loved to see, though, like, that match, I didn't like the match that much. I mean, I liked it when she pushed Stephanie McMahon into whatever the heck that was.
The slop,
I think it was pudding or either pudding or gravy. I can't figure out.
You're talking food again.
I'm sorry.
Killing me, Smalls.
You know, the Colonel's gravy. KFC gravy. It's good. It's good gravy.
It is, yeah.
But, like, I would have loved to see her, like, do a Hurricane Rana or something. Like, I would have think she's had some sort of...
Vickie Guerrero?
A Vickie Guerrero, sort of. But, like, I would think that because she was Eddie's wife, I would have thought she would have, like, had some sort of, like, if they could have prepared her for this match or something like that. That would have been cool to see, like, a Stephanie McMahon, Vickie Guerrero actual, like, match. To see her hit a frog splash, that would have been awesome. Because, like, Stephanie McMahon has wrestled at some point.
I know, but, I mean, have you seen... I'll have to pull up the footage. I think it was from a WrestleMania a couple of years ago.
When she wrestled...
When she attempted a frog splash.
What happened?
Well, I forget if it was Jerry Lawler. I don't think JBL was back at the time, but I think he called it a hog splash as opposed to a frog splash.
Oh, yeah, when they were doing the fat jokes where him and John Cena, that was the best. It's like, wait. Vickie Guerrero's so fat that her baby pictures were taken via satellite. That was all. That was mean, but it was funny as hell. Just those jokes.
Yeah, and then she lost a bunch of weight, and then they still kept doing the fat jokes, and people were like, well, no, she actually looks, I mean, for somebody in her 40s, she looks pretty damn good. What's with the fat hate?
Yeah, that is a good point.
I don't get it.
Like, I mean, when they made her do the, I believe there was a bit where they made her, like, eat Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, that, like, whole...
Oh, it was part of an advertising thing when they were on the West Coast.
Of course
we don't have Carl's Jr.'s out here.
Yeah, but of course they have, they make Vickie Guerrero eat the big burger and stuff like that. It's just...
I'm
just saying, I wish they would have...
He loves...
Yeah, I wish they would have, like, respected her a bit more. Like, I'm saying, like, I'm not saying...
He makes fun of gluttony.
Yeah. I would have loved to see, like...
He makes fun of a lot of things.
I just wish that she had, like, a better, like, sort of thing of bits and, like, sketches and stuff.
Well, you can say that about a lot of people on the WWE roster.
But, like, it's Eddie Guerrero's wife. Sort of like... I mean, I'm not saying it's not Eddie, but still, it's like she's been a part of that company. You gotta... And she's a Guerrero by marriage, but she's still a Guerrero. You gotta give her some sort of credit.
Well, Chavo was Eddie's nephew, and he got Kerwin White.
Yeah. That was bad.
I know this is horrible, but I loved the theme to it, though.
Because they gave it to Michael Cole, and that's even worse, because Michael Cole... I love Cole, but they boo the hell out of him when he's not even the heel announcer anymore. It's JBL. And they give JBL, like, a standing ovation.
JBL hasn't gotten quite as much love as of late.
No, I remember being at Money in the Bank, and when Jerry King Lawler, cheer. When Michael Cole came out, boo central. Well, then JBL comes out, and they just went, like, crazy.
Well, I mean... Wasn't that fairly fresh? I mean, okay, by fairly fresh, I mean maybe about 8 months removed from Lawler's heart attack, though?
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, Jerry obviously got a lot of love for that.
Yeah.
Coming back from that, I think he's still sparingly competed, even though he's, 60? He's 63?
I thought he was, like, in his late 50s.
No, he's in his 60s.
Damn.
To give you an idea...
To be honest, he's actually looks pretty good for a guy. Like, he doesn't look a day over, like, 58.
To give you an idea, he is triple Paige's age.
And that's my new girl, because AJ Lee's married, so I would think Paige is the new
Paige is the new crush.
Yeah. I've always wanted to date a British girl.
You love that accent, don't you?
Oh, it's so sexy.
On that note, we should take our second time out, get you a cold shower during the break.
Oh.
And we'll come back. We'll get our predictions starting to go wrong for Money in the Bank and some other interesting tidbits and news notes and other things. WWE stock update. A longtime broadcast team member reportedly getting the boot.
For WWE.
For WWE.
Who would that? You're going to tell us after the break.
We're going to tell you after the break. It's called a tease. It's called a tease. That's how these things work.
You tease.
Why, thank you. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, June 28. On this date in 1998, the World Wrestling Federation held its King of the Ring pay-per-view. In the main event, Kane defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin in a first blood match to win the WWF Championship. Also featured was The Undertaker pinning Mankind in the historically infamous Hell in a Cell match. On this date in 1999, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Chicago, Illinois. In the main event, Kevin Nash defeated David Flair by disqualification in a lumberjack match. On this date in 2009, WWE held the Bash pay-per-view. In the main event, Randy Orton defeated Triple H in a 3 Stages of Hell match to retain the WWE Championship. This has been Today in Wrestling History, June 28. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Nick Cataldi.
Hey.
Pushing the buttons, turning the dials, keeping us on the air here. Lucas the intern is here, but...
Took a powder.
Yeah, I think he's getting hosed down after his comments right before the break. But Today in Wrestling History, that jumps out at me. 16 years ago today was the Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker and Mankind, Mick Foley. It's the one that they play on all the highlight reels. It's one of those classic moments, him getting thrown off the top of the cell through the broadcaster's table, then climbing back up the cage, getting chokeslammed through the top of the cage into the ring. And of course, then later getting, I believe, tombstone onto a bed of thumbtacks. Just a very brutal match, but certainly a memorable one, and one that highlights have been played numerous times in WWE history over the last 16 years. But that just jumps out at me. The Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Mankind from King of the Ring, that happened.
He's dead. He's gotta be dead.
As God is my witness, he's broken in half.
God.
Just so many great. I mean, JR with just great calls. Somebody stop the damn match.
Unfortunately, JR is no longer with the company because Vince McMahon is a jerk.
Hey, yeah, he is.
So anyway, who was this broadcast member that was let go?
You've been chomping at the bit for it. Okay, so according to Scott Fishman of the Miami Herald, he reported via Twitter, Samsel wishes. He's right now in Tennessee doing something else. I think Trenton Freedom. But no, WWE announcer Josh Matthews has apparently been released.
Why?
No official announcement has been made by WWE, but Matthews is now listed under the alumni section of the WWE website. I mean, he had a pretty good run. I mean,
but
if
why
you remember,
was he
he was...
though?
Vince is trying to trim budget. I mean, why do you think you released the other 11 names, 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, but why would you release Matthews? I mean, he's been with the company for a long time.
Yeah, I remember when he was the scrawny, probably
on Tough Enough.
From Tough Enough. I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, but probably about your size competitor, and he somehow parlayed that into, despite not even winning the thing, he parlayed that into, a decade-plus broadcast career?
Yeah,
I mean, talk about opportunistic. I mean, what's Maven doing these days?
That's a good point.
Yeah, the winner of that original Tough Enough season. I mean, we know about the other finalist, Harvard Chris. He's now doing concussion studies, and part of that whole CTE brain trauma study that a lot of wrestlers and football players have contributed to, and doing great work for that, obviously.
Yeah.
So there you go. You got your delivery on that. Some other news. Jarrett's GFW announcing a partnership with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Wow.
Yeah, Global Force Wrestling has reached a partnership agreement with New Japan Pro Wrestling, the top wrestling promotion in the Eastern Hemisphere. This is from a press release, so of course there's a lot of fluff and stuff. The companies will exchange talent for events in both the United States and Japan. NJPW originated in 1972 under the auspices of Japanese wrestling legend Antonio Inoki. Jarrett, the founder and CEO of GFW, is pleased to add this partnership to one already announced with top Mexican promotion AAA. So a lot of global influence on this yet to be launched company, but Jarrett putting a lot of the homework in to try to, as he initially planned, get the best talent from around the world.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's trying to make himself a major player. It's like he's trying to learn from the mistakes that he made in TNA.
Yeah.
When he and his dad, Jerry Jarrett, first put it together back in 2002. Yeah. So, I don't know. Good for them. I'm intrigued to see what they have going. But the big key to them is they've got to get a TV deal. It's kind of one of those, if they're wrestling matches and nobody's watching, do the matches actually occur?
It turns into TNA all over again.
How did I know that was coming? All right. Quick WWE stock update. Stock finishing the steady week down 7 cents a share to $11.59 a share. Hopefully things go up with this weekend's Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which leads me to our predictions starting to go wrong.
Well, let's do it.
All right. Daniel Bryan, he's, I guess, the featured attraction in the pre-show, in that he'll be addressing the crowd for the first time since getting stripped of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So nothing really to predict there. He's going to talk. Yay, prediction right. And then your 7 matches for the card. Big E against Rusev. I say Rusev crush again.
Yeah, me too.
That's good. Yeah, that's where I'm no different than last month. All right, a battle of the ladies. One of 2 battles of the ladies. You gotta like this pay-per-view for that.
Meh.
I thought I was the gimp of the group. All right, Summer Rae against Layla. Summer Rae against Layla with Fandango as the referee.
Summer Rae.
That's where I'm leaning with this too. I don't know. They're giving him something to do. It's at least a storyline, just not a very good one. And I guess we'll get the other women's match out of the way. Paige, your Divas champion, defending against Naomi of the former Funkadactyls.
Yeah. Which one's Naomi again? Is she the one with the blonde hair? Or? You don't know.
You're putting me on the spot here, and I really don't know.
Is she the one that got all the beef with Paige, basically slapping her and everything?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to Cameron. Then you've got the tag match of Rybaxel against what I've been calling Gold Star. Goldust and Stardust.
I'm gonna have to go Stardust. Gold Star, my bad.
Gold Star, Stardust.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stardust and Goldust. I'm calling him Gold Star. I don't know if anybody else is. I'm rolling with it. Then you've got the tag titles. Jimmy and Jey Uso defending against Luke Harper and Eric Rowan of the Wyatt family.
Wyatts. I'm going to go.
You think they win the titles?
I feel like it's just because they've been giving them so much, this is about the time when, it's been long enough it's around the time that the tag titles change hands. There's only a certain amount of time where you, hand it over. I think that,
Do you think they'll be able to do more with it?
Don't get me wrong. I want the Usos to win, but I know it's going to be the Wyatts.
I've been back and forth on this about 38 times in the last hour and a half alone. This is the one that I'm not... I literally left it to a coin flip. Heads, it's Usos. Tails, it's Wyatts. And whoever said tails never fails, in this case lied because it came up heads. I'm going Usos. But it was literally a coin flip because I couldn't decide. Yeah. I know, I'm like Two-Face from Batman or something. And then you've got the Money in the Bank ladder matches. First, the contract ladder match. Bad News Barrett, bad shoulder and all. Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, Kofi Kingston, Rob Van Dam, and Seth Rollins.
I'm going to say Rollins wins it, but if, I mean, this is the only way that I would love for my, like, if my prediction...
You'd love to be wrong?
This is the only way I'd love to be wrong in this prediction, is if, okay, so they're saying, like, Barrett can't compete, so they're, like, scrambling around to find someone. It's like, all right, the first person that goes out there is in the match, then you just hear... You just hear Daniel Bryan come out.
Ride of the Valkyries.
If they do that, the place would go insane. And if Daniel Bryan ends up winning it, I would love to see. That's the only way I would want to be wrong.
So he goes from being champion to
Money in the Bank
holder to challenge for the championship.
Champion again.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it. But it is interesting. It's outside the box, but it's not bat-esque crazy far-fetched out of the box.
Like you could see like they could keep it under wraps that Bryan's like that he isn't like medically clear. They could keep that under wraps at least, and then it comes in like he comes in, wins Money in the Bank, and then like he wins the title again like at some point. Like maybe he does like a Cena cash in against Cena at SummerSlam. There's my prediction for the champ. I think Cena's either Cena or Orton are gonna win the main event. That's my
yes. With Alberto Del Rio, Bray Wyatt, Cesaro, John Cena, Kane, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and Sheamus. 8 men, 1 vacant World Heavyweight Championship. Who will end the reign of abeyance?
I'm saying either Cena or Orton. I don't think it's Reigns' time. I don't think it's Cesaro's time yet. Sheamus can't win. He's a United States champion. I mean, they could do that, but then it would I don't think it would go that well. Why Reigns? Del Rio. I mean,
he's been irrelevant for too long.
I'm not saying he's been irrelevant. They need to build him back up again. They need to. He can't just come back from a hiatus and just win it. They need to build him up again. They need to make him like another. They need to make him credible again, basically.
Well, maybe they'll be able to do that with his new announcer, the golden voice of professional wrestling, Stefan Benson.
They brought in Benson for this though, or?
Well, they had him announce this past Sunday at the house show, but it was his first official WWE announcing thing. So I don't know if he's been hired necessarily, but...
That would be awesome, though.
Of course it would be.
That would mean he's not the Monster Factory, though, anymore, so...
Nice, moving his way up.
Yeah.
I'm going Cena.
Yeah, I'm going... I said Cena.
I think with Vince firing his head writer, and next thing you know, we're seeing vomit jokes, Vince goes to what Vince thinks works. And usually that means... the Golden Boy gets the title. And who has been the Golden Boy for the last decade in WWE?
Cena, but does that mean that...
John Cena.
Does that mean Bryan's not winning the title again, or does that mean Bryan's getting shoved back?
At least not at this pay-per-view.
Yeah,
I mean, there's still Battleground next month. There's still SummerSlam in August. I mean, there's plenty of time. Except for this show. Just enough time to mention birthdays. Former WWE Tag Champ Heidenreich turns 42 today.
Who wants to be my buddy? It's weird.
Yipes. And even though this isn't wrestling related, going way back to 1926, producer, actor, director, and comedian Mel Brooks of Blazing Saddles, The Producers, Spaceballs, Young Frankenstein, among many others fame, turns
Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
88 today.
Blazing Saddles was on yesterday, and I didn't get to see it. And I was a little pissed off. I really wanted to, but we were out on the boardwalk. It was on AMC.
Not a good idea. Oh, plus AMC had some daylights out of it.
They butcher it. Yeah. Don't watch it on AMC.
Yeah, don't watch it. Don't watch it on cable television.
When you watch it on cable, just make sure you get the right channel.
Yeah, there you go. One that uncensors it.
FX Movies is going,
Yeah.
And also, 1 year ago today, we lost Matt Osborne, better known as Doink the Clown, brah.
Damn.
What a shame.
That's going to make this kid cry, brah.
Yes, making kids cry everywhere, brah. And on that note, I'm getting the high sign that it is, yeah, I know. The poker show, yeah.
Just letting you know I'm not pushing you out.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Merrill might.
Right.
You're fired.
It's part of my job.
Yeah, here we go.
Every once in a while I do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, Nick's got to get the country music in because we got a Phillies doubleheader today.
You think I don't want to just sit here and do nothing? Like I normally do?
He's got a point there, Fearon.
Well, the people want to hear country music. They don't want to hear me yammer even more than I already have. My time is up. His time is now.
Yeah, you can't see me.
And you can't hear me either because the show's over. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
1490 WBCB, Levittown, Fairless Hills, Trenton.